Hello everyone. Today we're going to have my first episode of Stud or Dud, and we're going to talk about Monopoly Deal, the card game. First, let me just inform you I'm not sponsored, not paid to do any kind of talk about this game, so my opinion is not influenced, and it's purely my opinion about the game. And what I'll do is just kind of give you kind of a quick overview of how the game plays, and I'll give you an opinion. Is it a stud or is it actually a dud? So let's start with it. So we got this game because it was a card game, and mostly it's just my wife and I that plays. For two-player, we were wondering, how does this game play with just two people? And it says it can be played in 15 minutes, where normally Monopoly takes the regular game with the board, the money, and all the hotels normally takes us multiple days. We'll play it for an hour or two, put it on the side, and come back to it later on because we're kind of busy. So first of all, here is the instructions. It's a very easy game to play. It's a two-sided pamphlet, and there are a deck of cards. It's a very easy game to play. You have a deck of cards, and you shuffle them. You make a deck, and you first hand out 5 cards to each player. And the very first thing you do is take 2 cards from the deck, and then you can play up to 3 cards in your hand. So you have money cards, which you can see here, which it's M3. Represents millions, and you put it in your tableau. So you have an area for your money, which is your bank, and then you have an area in your tableau which is your properties, just like regular Monopoly. I'm going to show you here the 3 properties, just like the regular Monopoly game. So your objective in this game is to collect 3 sets of properties, and it's just like Monopoly. You have the railroads, so you got to get four cards equals 1 set for railroads. Regular property, just like I showed you, has 3, and it tells you on here how many the sets are, so it's very easy to follow. And like waterworks and stuff like that, there's only required 2 cards. And the other thing is, not only do you get the properties, they have wilds. So you can use the one side wild as blue, and it could go as a set here. If I had only 2 cards, I can put this underneath, and that would make it 1 complete set. Or if I had 3 other railroads and I needed a 4th card, I can flip it over this way and use this as the 4th card from 1 set. Now, just like regular Monopoly, you can add a house, one single house, to a complete set to add additional value to the card. As you can see here, it says 3 million. And once you do that, you can also add a hotel to it to add 4 million. You're saying, well, why am I doing that? Well, there are cards. Well, actually, one other thing before I go there. There's also this wild card, which means it can go with any set you're trying to complete. So there's no restrictions. Like the other ones has you use one side or the other, which has 2 colors to use, or you can use this one. It can be anything. You can't put houses and hotels on railroads and utilities. So you're saying, why should I do that? Put houses and whatnot on it. So you get these cards, which are the utility cards, kind of like when you're playing Monopoly, you land on it, and if it's a house or whatnot, you have to pay rent. Well, use these cards on your turn to make the other player pay rent to you if you have that property. You can't just have them pay rent if you don't have it. So on the card, it actually tells you if you have 1 card, like this one, for instance, you have one card, it's 1 million, 2 cards, 2 million, and 3 cards is 3 million. And then when you start adding hotels and houses, a house will add 3, so that's 6. And then if you add this hotel, that would make it 10 million. So if you use this card, which has the blue on it, that are color coded, you would get 10 million from that player. So that player would have to have 10 million in his bank, and that's where these cards come in. If they don't, then they have to give you your cash, and then they have to start handing you property. And on these properties, there's values on it. Like this one has 1 million. So if I had 9 million, I'd have to give over 9 million in cash, and then one of my properties there'd be 1 million. So if it was 5 million, and I mean if it was 10 million, I only had 5 million. Just say this was worth 5 million, then I had to give him 5 million cash and then 5 million in properties, which would help your player get 3 sets. And it is a pretty quick game. And there are other cards as well, and there's these cards. So the other card I showed you has 2 colors, and then there's other ones where, like this, you can use any single one rental that you want. And those are what they call action cards. The house cards are action cards. The wilds are action cards. Yes, and there's other cards here, but one other thing you need to know too, in the action cards, not only do they either enhance your property with a hotel or a house or charge people rent, but there's this dollar symbol in the corner. So if you wanted to use it as cash in your bank, you can do that, but once you place that in your bank, you cannot take it out. So whenever you do a play, whether you're playing it against a person for rent, you can't take it back. If you put it in your bank, it goes in the bank as cash value, it doesn't come back. Same thing with properties. Once you put your property down, it goes in your tableau and it doesn't come out. That's it. Same with your wilds. Just can't move them around. The matter in the rulebook, it says for these doubles, you can move it around. We make them more challenging by saying once you set it, no matter what, that's it. You can't flip it around and change it. Now there's some other action cards that it actually enhances the game. There's one where it's called Slide Deal. So you would play this card and you could take one card from the player's tableau's property that's not a part of a complete set. So that could be 3 or 4 cards. If they have a complete set, you can't take it from that using a slide deal, but you can take one of their cards. Then there's actually the Forced Deal card where you actually swap a property card with another player of your choice. So you can take a card, but you have to give them one of yours that you don't want. And there's also like this Happy Birthday, where someone has to give you $2 million from their bank or property. And then there's the Deal Breaker, where it allows you to steal a complete set from somebody. So you could actually win the game. So just say you had 2 complete sets and you got this card, play this card, you can take someone else's complete set, 3 complete sets, and you win. There's also the Pass Go, which allows you, when you play that, you get 2 cards from the deck into your hand. So you're saying there's all these things you can do to somebody else, but how can you protect yourself? There's these cards right here. This action card that says, just say no. So if I was to come here and use this Deal Breaker card to get on you and try to take your set, you can, the opposing person can play this just say no deal and block them from doing it. So there is a hand limit of 7 cards you can have. So like I said, you get 5 and then you get 2 at the beginning of the round, except if you ever have a turn where it comes back to you and you don't have any cards in your hand, you will have you get to draw 5 cards from the deck. That's about it. But so once you get, the first person who gets 3 sets of properties wins the game. So what is my opinion on this? So it definitely does what it says it's supposed to do. Supposed to be done in 15 minutes, and when we play, it's definitely more than 15 minutes. And we really enjoy it. So I give this a stud game. Surprisingly, we went to Walmart, bought it for $4.95, and what we were trying to get out of it for us was to be able to play Monopoly, but in a shorter amount of time, because whenever like I said, we pull it out, it would take us days to play, especially with 2 players. We wanted something that was a little quicker, but has the Monopoly experience. So if you're looking to play Monopoly with just 2 people, I would definitely recommend Stud game to go out and buy at Walmart for $4.95. So if you really enjoyed this segment, please leave any comments below. Let me know your opinion. I hope you enjoyed this segment of Studs or Duds. I'm going to definitely have more in the future because I've definitely played a lot of games in the past year. This one actually we just tried out and it was superb. A superb game, really quick, easy to play. We really enjoy it. And we really have fun with one another. And yes, if you are playing with your partner, you could get into some confrontations, because it is a take that type of game where you and there is some luck with it. I agree that there is some luck at the game, but it's very fun. Let me know what you think about it. My review, this different review, because I've never seen this. I want to do something new out on the internet. Everybody's either doing reviews or showing people what it is, and want to do a little different segment based on my opinion. If you have any comments, leave them below. If you enjoy this type of content, please subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much for watching this video. Have a wonderful day.